Okay, here we are at Grey's Anatomy, live yet again on a lovely Friday. We're here with our good friend Olivia. Hi, Olivia.
Hello.
How are you?
Fantastic, thank you.
Good. Tell us what your title is.
My title is Set PA.
Yes, you are on set PA, and for people who don't know, PA means...
Production assistant.
Exactly. And we have a lot of production assistants. We have office production assistants, we have editorial production assistants, and we have on-set production assistants, which is you and Tina, I guess, are kind of our peeps for that. And how long have you been with us here at Grey's Anatomy?
This is my second season.
Really? Mm-hmm. It feels like you've been here... We were talking about that a little earlier, right before we went on about that, but it feels like forever.
Yes.
So you are actually a newer newbie for all of us on the Grey's Anatomy train. Speaking, you're sort of one of
by
our
comparison,
newer people.
I think I'm a baby.
Yeah. Did you watch our show before you came on to it at all?
You know,
I don't have. If you didn't, you don't have to say you did. It's okay.
I heard a lot about it. It's been on for so long. I think it kind of it missed my age group at the time, but I've since gone back.
Okay, it's just, you're very kindly saying that. Exactly how old were you when we first came on the air there?
I was like, but it aired.
We started airing in 2005.
Oh, so I was like, jeez.
You make me feel real old no matter what you say.
12.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
12 or 13.
That's okay. You're actually you're very much in the age demographic of a lot of our newer viewers who watched it. You know, their moms watched it, and then they began watching it. So you're definitely part of our demographic. So that's cool. But yeah, you're making me feel really old. Thanks for that. So what exactly does an on-set PA do?
In a nutshell, using big words. We facilitate set operations, so basically any member from any department should be able to come to us with a problem, however minute or big, and we either find a solution or find someone who can get them the solution.
So you're sort of our on-set firefighters, because we've talked about it, from a producing angle as well. A lot of people ask, what Rob does and what I do, and it boils down to we put out fires, or you try to anticipate fires before they become fires, things like that.
Definitely. So
you go through a lot of that as well. And we have a lot of people and a lot of moving parts that have to be wrangled and put together. So you're involved in that to a certain extent?
Yes, definitely. I think we're kind of like if the executives and the ADs are like an arm, we might be like the fingertips that execute.
That's a good analogy. We can call you fingers from now on.
Fingers.
Your fingers. Yes. Get over here.
Oh, I got a shirt made.
So give us a little bit of background. How did you, what was your journey? How did you come to this in your life?
I think it was pretty typical of people in my position. You do like film school because you don't know another way, and then I was fortunate enough to start day playing kind of immediately.
And tell people what day playing means.
Day playing, you're kind of like a gun for hire, and so you can work 5 or 6 days a week and work 5 or 6 different shows.
Right. So it means you're not attached to anyone's specific show.
Correct.
You're sort of at will. You come and you go. It's temp work. It's basically what it is. It's like being a temp.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And when you went into film school, did you know specifically the track you wanted to take, or you just knew you wanted to be in the community in some way?
I knew I wanted to be in the community, that industry, that business. It wasn't until I got in my first student set that I kind of immediately recognized the specific department I wanted to pursue, which was assistant directing. So.
Okay. Yes, and I don't know if people know that is a track that you take. You become a PA. You apply. You can apply to the Director's Go program. You've kind of been doing that, a very difficult program to get into, as we know. But do you feel working as a PA kind of helps inform that and lets you understand more of what's going to be required as an AD?
Absolutely. You can turn any opportunity, any position into kind of your own curriculum that helps you towards your goals. So PAing for those sort of people it's kind of the only way to go. So.
Yeah, I've always felt too that like the PA gig, unfortunately it's low man on totem pole, so you're at the grunt work, but you also get to see everything. Yes. You kind of get the ground's eye view of everything that goes down, and you can kind of decide the things that you like and the things that you don't like, and also the way you would do things if it was up to you. So, but I mean, it's like, so when you're in that position, you remember what worked and what didn't. And I think it really can help inform what you want to do. Okay, so as an on-set PA, what are some of the skills that you need to have to get through the day with a minimum amount of angst?
I I've never heard that word before.
Oh, I use it a lot.
I would say day-to-day skills, listening. You gotta be listening for whenever your bosses are talking. From that to even people might be hearing mumblings on set, because that might be indication of a coming problem that you have to solve. So listening's huge. And then after that, I would just say just kind of like endurance, just kind of like taking it one step at a time.
Because you do have an incredibly long day. We've talked about, we've had people ask us about, how long a day is, and we say, it's basically 12 hours, 13 with 1 hour of lunch. But for you guys, you're here before call and after call, and there's paperwork, and you're on your feet all day, on a concrete floor all day. So it is a bit of an endurance test. And you have to multitask, I would think as well.
Multitasking is huge.
And I think a certain sort of sense of humor is required.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. Because you're kind of like, you're hosting a huge party.
That's a really good way of
putting it. So, I mean, like, the people skills, the poise, humor, it's all, you just kind of keep the ball rolling, or what is that?
You keep the plate spinning.
The plate spinning,
and
exactly,
the balls.
Exactly. So, and if we facilitate operations, a lot of that is kind of like keeping morale up too. It's not just cold, operations. It's,
and it's kind of cool because I think every day is different too. Where it's you're a different set of challenges every day. You have a different different group of people. Sometimes we've got all of the cast here, and sometimes it's two people, and sometimes it's guest cast, and sometimes it's other. So, and we have our double days, which actually someone was asking me about last night, and I mentioned, that the last episode of the last day of every episode is also the first day of the next episode.
Yes. Which
is a whole other set of problems. Can you talk to us a little bit about what double days are like for you?
Well, a typical day can be kind of a bit like chaotic, orchestrated chaos. But when a double day occurs, that is chaos times 2. So everything is multiplied by 2. Cast, crew, locations, movie.
And for those who don't know, I will rectify. Double day just means we literally have two full units shooting at the same time. Generally 2 different episodes, sometimes not, but generally it's 2 completely different episodes. And sometimes we're sharing cast members between those 2 episodes.
Yes.
And sharing sets and sharing stages and sharing everything. So. That's always a lot of fun. I see you're a bit of a blur on those days. I say, oh, there goes Olivia.
A little bit like Speedy Gonzalez.
So that said, what's the best thing about your job?
I'm very logistics minded. Like that's how I get my kicks is the problem solving, but problem solving with speed and on your feet. So I think that coupled with kind of the party hosting that I mentioned before, I think that's for me the best thing is you're seeing everything unfold. You're part of the orchestration in a way, and it all just kind of, it's like dominoes, and it falls, and we make crazy awesome entertainment. So for me, definitely the people and problem solving, anywhere I go, that's what I gravitate towards, and I love that.
So on a day where we have 2 people sitting in a room talking to each other, and that's kind of dull as far as you're concerned.
Well, you can find things to do though. You kind of there's always something.
There's always something going on. Exactly. So what kind of advice would you give to someone who feels the way you do about they wanted to get into this, or they're not sure how to approach it other than obviously the film school track. Many people have mentioned that.
Yes.
But what else do you think is a good way to go?
Well, if someone was like me, wanting to do this work, I would definitely say there's this interesting element that a lot of people I think don't talk about, which is not being entitled to a certain kind of treatment or something. I think at this stage of the game, you tend to sacrifice, not going out as much, not having as much energy at the end of the day, perhaps, and you get to a point where you accept it because it's part of your goal. It's necessary for your goal. This is kind of just like what we do. This is the job.
That's an interesting angle. No one has really brought that up, that really you have to commit to it, is what it is. It's, the old joke of, it's a young person's game. It sort of is, because it does take up, your life, you know, and it's for
okay
in the beginning for kind of very little reward, and I think in the beginning too, because like you mentioned, student films and stuff like that, you're going to do, you know, no budget, low budget to start out, and it's all about meeting people and learning the things that need to be done. So I think you can't expect instant gratification, like you said.
Correct. Correct. That's a huge part. Now I've been fortunate. The team we have on Grays is incredible. So the stereotype is that PAs are kind of treated like, you know, like inferior humans, but it's so not the case here. That, you know, that's something that I kind of braced myself for and found it was completely an unnecessary exercise. So I wish it was always that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's out there. It's you know, it's
a thing. But
yeah, and the one thing is if you can get on a show too where other people have come up that way, you know, because I was a PA back in the day, I know Rob was a PA back in the day, and people who get it, you know, they remember that, you know, this is a human being and they're here to learn. So, you know, if you can have people around you that remember that it is a team effort and it's a big picture, that's hugely helpful as well.
It's a big deal.
What else can we say here? Well, we're sitting out here out in front of Meredith's house. Somebody did mention the swing. We're sitting in the swing. And actually, Olivia found this for us because we were trying to figure out where the heck we should go today.
It's fun.
And she found the swing. God, what else can we say? Is there anything else you want to offer up to our fabulous fans? Well, I mean, we had our big episode last night, which was a different thing for us because it was April the movie, and we talked about how it's two people, and this very much was almost just two people for the whole time.
Yes.
A lot of flashbacks and a lot of changes in terms of continuity, so hair, makeup, wardrobe, that sort of thing. Now, did that impact you as well, or what did you have?
It really did, because part of our job is to get our cast wherever they need to be, and to do it, you know, fairly quickly, so that we can, you know, keep up with our schedule. So we kind of had to keep track along with the ADs of who needed to change, what exactly was it for. Sometimes, you know, something would be forgotten at base, and we would have to look at the cast member and recognize, oh my gosh, they're not wearing the right jacket, so you kind of go run over the wardrobe and say, are they wearing the right jacket? And then, Kate, can I help you? Can I run to base, grab it for you? Because they're running around doing a ton of things.
Right.
So in that way, it's sort of like running behind someone who's carrying a ton of stuff, and we just kind of maybe like pick up things that are just falling because there's so much.
Right. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
Exactly. We did just have a question asking if it's easier or harder for you when there's, you know, more cast members around as opposed to less cast members around. I think it's probably more hectic.
Is it any
harder, or is it's just a different kind of day?
I would say it's just a different kind of day. You definitely get into routines that you get used to how certain cast members move, what their habits are. So you can start to keep track of them without even seeing them at all times. As long as we know where they are.
I know, there is a little bit of a big brotherness to what you do.
A little bit. There's a little bit of spine.
Yeah, I'll overhear you guys in your radio. I have eyes on Sarah. It's like, and I'm thinking, it's not. It sounds creepy, but it isn't. She's over by the coffee cart.
It's not. Exactly. It is fine. Yeah. We're spies.
Yeah. That's it. That's in essence. Yeah, we're gonna go. So you're gonna be Fingers the Spy from now on. I think if we've learned anything from this is that you are actually Fingers the Spy. So Olivia, I want to thank you very much for taking out part of your lunchtime to hang with me and tell people about what it is that you do, and we appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
And all your hard work, because, you know, I sure as hell don't want to do it. So I'm so glad that you do. And guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you all soon.